Hi, my name is Rich Lilly with Project Leadership Associates. Today we're going to be talking about operational insights with System Center Operations Manager 2012 R2. Microsoft Azure Operational Insights is still in preview today, but integrates very deeply with System Center Operations Manager 2012 R2. As of System Center Operations Manager 2012 R2, or SCOM, Microsoft has integrated deeply with System Center Advisor, which has now been rebranded as System Center Operational Insights. Specifically, this platform allows us to take a lot of the data we're getting out of SCOM or independently through Microsoft Monitoring Agents, which is now a separate agent process and not branded as the System Center specific process. Now, this allows us in many cases to look at a lot of machine level data. We look at things such as event level data, IIS data across all servers, security logs, performance counters, syslog, and much, much more. This allows us for deep level insight into not only on-premises virtual machines, but Azure virtual machines as well. The big advantage in this case is we're taking a lot of big data sources, a lot of performance data, a lot of logging data, a lot of system info, and we're able to aggregate that and search across that leveraging the Azure platform. Now, there's a couple different methods in which we can take this data in. One is directly through System Center Operations Manager, connecting to what used to be called Advisor, or now Operational Insights. Or we have the option of leveraging a Microsoft Monitoring Agent directly from an individual machine in a single location. Now, once we have this data in Azure today, it allows us to do a broad search and analytics across a lot of this data set, leveraging all Azure storage as well as the Azure portal for being able to display a lot of this data. This allows us to do searches of up to millions and millions of records, which are not that palatable within SCOM itself. There's significant value in what we can do with operational insights. One, it provides real-time reporting on a lot of the data we get today. We also have the option of looking at different components, such as real-time data streams. We can also look at search. We can look at ready-made intelligence. Intelligence packs are developed for things such as SQL, upcoming for Active Directory, IIS. These different components add a lot of logic. Where SCOM ends with real-time point-and-state data, this allows us to compare it against logic that exists across environments and the public today, such as cumulative updates, such as security patches, such as other various best practice requirements for various Microsoft solutions. We also get very rich dashboards and reporting, something that SCOM does well, but this enables a much more rich experience, as well as even having a mobile phone application as well. This is also extremely scalable. So from a big data perspective, you can only consume and hold so much data on premises in your SCOM environment. This allows us to hold and store that much more data in the cloud, where it's much cheaper and much more efficient to do so. We look at what Operational Insights does. So again, we're looking at search and correlating a combination of results, a visualization, centralized and extended collection of all of this data, as well as being able to aggregate data from multiple different sources regardless of volume and type. We also again have ready-made intelligence for things such as forecasting capacity, assessing system updates, malware, and configuration changes. Very big piece of change management within an organization. We also look at responding to threats, identifying security breaches, as well as auditing and compliance as well. There's some additional packs that are coming as well for, say, SQL and Active Directory that add even more additional functionality. What this actually does is really help us troubleshoot operational issues. So what we're walking through here is a data flow of operational insights. Again, the one primary method with SCOM today is we have an agent that collects data into SCOM. SCOM then takes this data through a proxy server or not through a proxy server directly to operational insights. And really here's where the magic happens with the Azure storage and the various Azure analytics and search capabilities. Again, just to highlight, we also have the option of leveraging an agent without SCOM. So if we want to report this data and do not have SCOM or a similar tool deployed in our environment today, we can report this from our Microsoft servers today directly to our Azure Operational Insights account. We can have multiple management groups as well, so if we do have this across multiple disparate sites, we can take this data in from multiple different locations. As we're showing in the workflow here, we have data that can be forwarded to or bypass the Operations Manager database, in some cases both. Agents, as I mentioned, can connect directly to the Operational Insights, and this is all done through certificate-based authentication and SSL, so all this data being transmitted is completely secure. Then we have the service, which is run by authorized personnel. We can dedicate access to specific individuals in the environment. So this is very important, so we don't actually have to give broad access to various resources and really give someone what they need access to. And also we have the option of separating this file partition for each customer workspace. So if we want to store this for different consumers within our organization, we have that capability as well. As I mentioned, Insights offers a couple core functionality components. One is search. Being able to search across multiple IIS logs in various environments or various servers, potentially thousands or millions of records in many cases. Being able to export or do facet-based searching. A lot of the dashboards and intelligence packs, as well as being able to offer recommendations on various changes to make based on best practices, is a very important part part of Operational Insights. Now let's take a look at Operational Insights in action. So here we have our Operational Insights preview portal. If we go over into the Intelligence Packs view, we'll see a couple of the Intelligence Packs I have loaded today. One, we have our AD assessment, which you can see is coming very soon. We also have our security assessment, looks at very specific security requirements related to data and operating systems in your environment. We look at other ones that are enabled today, such as malware, SQL, alert, which is actually pulling in our SCOM specific logs. We also look at system update assessment as well. So let's actually go back and see what some of these show us. So we look at information like our configuration assessment. In this case, we can see a very quick, very rich dashboard interface for alerts, knowledge recommendations, and analyze workloads across our environment. Immediately, I can see that I have 42 alerts on my environment. We can see that there's 17 within the SQL. Within this dashboard, I can immediately drill down to SQL Server, and now I can view these 17 alerts in my environment. As you can see, this is a very similar interface to SCOM. We have our knowledge base of information as well as potential remediation actions and links to Microsoft KBs as well. This gives me a very rich experience in how to remediate and fix the alerts and issues that are in my environment. I also have the opportunity to look at various other things. So alert management is a SCOM specific integration point. So here I can see different active alerts, again getting a much more rich experience than I have out of my on-premises SCOM deployment. I can drill down, look at servers, I can look at some of my top alerts that are in the environment. I can even look at and drill down to specific issues. So in this case I can look at a specific web issue with one of our Exchange servers. I can dive in and see how often that alert's been repeated, as well as different times and specifically how often it was coming up as well. We even on the left-hand side here also see the actual integration of how much these alerts came up over time. So we can see that there's a spike here about just a week ago. Diving into a couple of the other functions, we can look at things such as change tracking. Now, change tracking can tell me how many configuration changes have been made in my environment over a given time. In this case, we can see that there have been approximately 652 overall software changes in my environment, as well as 367 different service changes in my environment. From here, again, I can drill down, much like very much like a Power BI style interface, to the different Windows services, and then we can see which instances have changed over specific amounts of time. We can also look at things like log management, where this is very helpful is globally searching logs across every server in my environment. So for instance, if you're a heavy web front-end shop that's using IIS or .NET, we can actually go and look at some of the common Windows event log searches. So for instance, we'll go over to the right here, and we'll actually look for count of IIS log entries by client IP. Now this is great for actually doing deep level troubleshooting on client IP addresses coming into any of our web servers. And again, not just across this single server, but across every server in our environment. This is really where the power of Operational Insights lies. Finally, we look at other components such as our SQL assessment. Now again, this gives us a much more kind of best practice solution around where is SQL versus where it should be in the public facing side today. So we look at things like security and compliance. This is ranked and scored on different metrics. We look at availability and business continuity. We even get recommendations on different components and what the score is based on those as well. So for instance, I can look at scheduling a full database backup on maybe some of my SQL databases that are not being backed up properly as well. I can drill down, I can even get a list of these affected objects that are in my environment today, as well as suggested actions. So again, not only is this a platform for notification, but reactionary. And the rich experience offers a great advantage over just having SCOM in your environment today. Thank you for watching today's session on Operational Insights for System Center Operations Manager. My name is Rich Lilly. You can reach me at rlilly@projectleadership.net or at Twitter at @RichLilly. Thank you.